Okay, you probably noticed I'm in a different setting. I'm just in my office where I spend probably 10 hours out my day. But there's a lot I want to talk to you about. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jaroid Henry. You're probably here because you're a visual artist and you want to increase your art sales to just grow your art career in some way, shape, or form. And it's just simply my goal to give you my best advice to help you do that. Hoping that someday we end up working together and I can help you really scale. If you don't know who I am, in the last 4 years at this point, we helped a lot of artists make consistent sales. And I'm very proud to say we have one particular artist on track to 1 million in art sales. So it's just something that warms my heart. But we won't get into this video. So here's the thing. We're going to talk about like preparing for next year so you can be set up completely for success. And success is the only option. This video is going to be very straightforward. I'm going to try to keep it as many cuts as possible. I just want to just chat. You probably want to paint while you watch these videos. I'm going to start doing more videos like this just from my office space. I just think it's easier for me. I feel like a lot of times just on social media, you get to see the glam of what it looked like. And I'd rather you just see me for, I guess, who I am and what my average day looked like. And this is literally what my day looked like. I spent a lot of time at my desk and we just hammering at work. So I want to record this video. Now, here's the thing. 2024 is coming up. And at least I always feel like the previous year I didn't achieve everything I want to achieve. And you don't want to achieve all your goals, because if you achieve all your goals in a year, most likely your goals are too low. But if you don't get close to achieving your goals, then that means the actions you took over the last year, you didn't take enough action. So in this video, I want to really set you up for massive action next year so you can actually get as close to achieving those big goals as possible. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And the biggest thing is, if you really want to achieve your goals next year, don't wait till January 1st. Because everybody set these goals at the beginning of the year that they want to accomplish and they never accomplish it, because it's like this little high. It's like a little drug. It's a bit of dopamine, some excitement that comes with that when you set that goal on the first of the year. So I always say, if you really want to crush next year, start in December or November of the previous year. And if you start early, that's going to allow you to iron out all the mistakes, all the mishaps, all the trouble. Because usually when you onset a new journey, you're going to run into some trials and tribulation. You're going to run into some mistakes. You're not going to be as disciplined. And this is the time you want to use to like iron out all of those things. So while everybody else just starting January 1st, you already 3-4 weeks ahead. That's what we're going to talk about. So with that being said, I'm going to kind of like recline because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. So just bear with me. So here's the thing. First thing first, I'm not speaking to anyone specifically, but I'm just speaking for visual artists as a whole. I know the visual art space, most visual artists are just weak-minded. What I mean by this is you have low self-esteem, probably low confidence, you probably never saw work before, you feel that it's hard to believe that it's possible to even sell your work. The most important thing that I want to say is that if that's you, first you have to come into the realization of that if we're going to change it, because we have to change that first if we want to actually crush it and crush it for the long haul. So first, what I want you to do, and you're going to do this while watching this video, like take a pause from painting and actually do this, and I promise you it's going to be a game changer. First, write out your negatives. Like write out the things you think you're truly negative at. I feel like I still struggle with discipline at this point. Sometimes I get distracted. Some of my negatives, it's hard for me to remain focused, right? But you want to find out your negatives. Like, what are some of the things you think you're lacking at? It could be self-confidence. It could be imposter syndrome. It could be being able to commit, being able to make big decisions, being able to take action. You might be lazy, but you want to write those things out, because here's the thing. Rule number one, if we're going to fix that for 2024, the first and most important thing we have to do is become crystal clear on the problem. Most of the artists I come across, they never able to find a solution, and it's mainly because they don't understand the problem. You have to become crystal clear on a problem in order to find a solution. One example I always give, let's say you're getting your car, right? And let's say you want to travel to a different side of the country. Let's say you're in LA and you want to go to New York. Most likely, if you're going to New York, you put in a very specific destination in New York. You may say, I'm trying to go to the Apple Store in freaking Soho in New York. I don't know if there's even an Apple Store there. I'm just making this up. But you get very specific on that destination. Why do you get specific on that destination? It's because if you just put in your GPS New York, who knows where you may end up? I mean, obviously you're gonna end up in New York, but New York where, right? That's why you want to get very specific. And that's just so that GPS can tell you exactly which turns to make, how long it's gonna take you to get there, what's gonna allow along that road ahead of you. If any traffic is going to occur, that GPS is going to be able to tell you all those things once they have a specific destination. That's the same thing you want to do with your future. So first thing first, get very specific on your destination. But to get very specific on your destination, we need to point out the problems, right? So what are those problems? What are you struggling with? Make a list of those things, right? And then on the opposite side of that list, what you then gonna do is you're gonna write out what the solution to be. What's the opposite? What's the positive? So if you're struggling with self-confidence, then obviously the positive of that or the opposite of that would be an extremely confident person. If you struggle with self-doubt, the opposite of that would you having strong belief and being able to believe in yourself and believing you can achieve whatever it is you put your mind to. If you're struggling with, imposter syndrome, it's understanding that your work is unique and have it in its own way and that it's work, whatever it may be work. Now, here's what you want to do. Once you list out and do this exercise, once you list out the negatives and then you list the positives, associate that positive with what that may look like. So I'll give an example. Negative, I struggle with self-confidence, right? So I have self-doubt, right? The opposite of that is me having strong belief in the things I'm able to achieve. So once you have strong belief, write out what that look like for you. So I'll give an example. Me having strong belief is knowing my work is worth it, charging the prices I feel I truly deserve, and going into the market. And by the market, I'm talking about social media to sell my work, and I'm selling it with confidence. I tell people my prices with confidence. I don't negotiate on my prices. I stick to the prices I set. I take the actions necessary because I know I can achieve whatever it is I put my mind to. So that's what I mean when you're going to explain the details behind that positive and become crystal clear on those things. Now, here's the thing. Once you wrote that out, so at this point, you should have the negatives, which is the things we need to work on, and what the positive will look like, which is once you work on them, what's that outcome? And then what that looks like overall for you in your life. Once you then do that, you're going to write out what I call a manifesto. So pause the video, do the first part first before I go into the manifesto. And if you do this, I promise you, 2024 is going to be amazing. While you do that, I'm going to take a sip of water. By the way, I say this video is going to have like minimal cuts, so I don't know if you're going to like this or not, but it is what it is. So now that we back, here's what you want to do. You're going to write what's called a manifesto. I learned this from one of my mentors. What's a manifesto? Basically, you're going to describe what that ideal life look like at the end of 2024. I always like to put at the top of my paper, by the end of 2024. I always like to put who is Jaroid or whatever your name may be. Now, this is what you're going to do. You're going to write maybe 2 to 3 paragraphs. Sometimes I write like 4 paragraphs, breaking down exactly what the end of 2024 will look like for me. Get extremely specific. I like to talk about like how much I'm away, the way I spend my day, how I allocate my time, the food I eat, do I work out, how often do I work out, how many artworks am I working on, how do my artwork look, what's the sizes of my artwork, who I'm hanging out with, how many followers do I got on social media, how do my audience on social media perceive me, how do my family perceive me, what time do I go to sleep. So you want to get extremely, extremely, extremely specific in your manifesto. Now, the reason why you wanted to write those positives and then like put yourself in those positives and describe those positives, is because you want to use that in your manifesto. Like if one of the positives is you become confident, and then what confidence look like for you is you're asking for the prices that you desire for your work. That means when you write your manifesto, you're saying, I'm creating beautiful large artworks no smaller than 36 by 36, charging $5,000 minimum for those artworks, and I'm asking for that price with confidence to my customers. And this is how you write your manifesto. Get extremely specific. And the next couple parts is going to get really juicy. So go ahead and pause this video. Go write your manifesto. Write your manifesto. Become crystal clear on your manifesto. Okay. Well, now that we back, once your manifesto is written, what you didn't want to do, you want to do these exercises in this order. Don't skip anything. What you didn't want to do is ask yourself, what do I need to sacrifice? And who do I need to become to achieve that manifesto? So one, what do I need to sacrifice? Because any growth in life as a whole comes with sacrifice. It comes with sacrifice. And then I always say your surroundings is in direct proportion to who you are as a person. The amount of money you make, the things you do, who you spend your time with, the house you live in, everything is in direct proportion to who you are as a person. So what I'm saying is, if you want to change your surroundings, you first have to change yourself. So first, you're going to ask yourself, what do you need to sacrifice? And then second, who do you need to become to achieve that manifesto, that ideal life you just wrote paragraphs about that you say you want by December 2024? Now, for the sacrifices, some of those sacrifices may be, you know what? You have to get very transparent with yourself. You don't have to share this with anybody. This is like for you. You don't even have to share with me. This is for you to be extremely vulnerable with you. So I get an example. Some of those sacrifices may be, I notice I'm always hanging out with my friends on the weekend. If I really want to get to this goal, this ideal manifesto life I want, I need to sacrifice that. It may be, I notice I spend an hour or two just scrolling on social media. I need to sacrifice that. It may be, I know I'm always talking on the phone with my friends for an hour or two per day. That's something you may need to sacrifice. So you want to really list out those sacrifices. If you struggle to identify which the sacrifices, ask yourself this simple question. Whatever it is it moving you closer to your ideal goal, which is that manifesto, that ideal lifestyle, or is it not? It's that simple. And in that lifestyle, you don't just want your financial goals as a visual artist, but overall life. So you have to ask yourself, is what I'm doing moving me closer to this manifesto, or is it not? It's that simple. If it's not, it needs to be sacrificed. If it is, then obviously you want to keep it. And then we start to find out a lot of stuff we think we doing, we actually don't need to do, because it's not even moving us closer to our goal. We actually should be sacrificing those things. Like we'll think being on the phone with my brother for 3 hours in a day is me moving closer to my goal because it's building my relationship with my brother. But he's going to be there regardless, right? So like you have to really become transparent with yourself and really start to sacrifice those things. So once you list out the things you need to sacrifice, you need to ask yourself who you need to become. Usually when you're describing who you need to become, you want to use very powerful words. And I always like to say, how do people perceive you? Will really let you know who you become. So for example, do people perceive you as educated, smart, strong, resilient, confident, right? That's you becoming that person. So when you decide on who you become, ask yourself also, how will people perceive me? So I'll give an example. Jaroid is someone who's very strong, who's very confident, and extremely hardworking. Jaroid is someone who wakes up at 6 a.m. every single morning, dedicate his time to work every single day, and spend his evening working on educating himself to become the smartest person in the space. During education, Jaroid chooses to learn from the smartest brains and willing to invest whatever he may need to invest to make sure that he have the most cutting edge information to apply for his artist. So that's me getting really specific on who I need to become. And at that point, once you write this out and get very, very specific, at this point, you're going to have so much more clarity just on your art career as a whole that it's going to be a game changer, like an absolute freaking game changer. And that's what you want. Like my artists that absolutely crush it, they literally had a 360 as far as who they are as a person. You have to just change who you are as a person before you could ever apply any strategy to make sales. So that's what you want to do. At this point, take a step back and read over the information you have. At this point, you should understand where you're struggling, which is the negatives, what you need to do to fix those negatives, which is those positives, who you want to become in the next 12 months by December 2024, what you need to do to become that person, and becoming that person, how people will perceive you, how people will communicate about you. I promise you, if you just do this one exercise, you automatically, without a doubt, guarantee will be ahead of 95% of the people that walk this earth. So many people are walking through this earth just freaking blind. And what I mean by blind is they don't know exactly where they're going. They just moving. You ask a random person, where exactly do you see yourself in the next 12 months? They would not be able to tell you. And if they do tell you, then say, okay, and then also where you see yourself in the next 24 months. And then here's the third question. After you say where you see yourself in the next 6 to 12 months, and then where you see yourself in the next 24 months, the third question, you will not get one person that's going to have an answer to this question. You can ask your entire family. The third question is, and what are you doing currently to move you closer to that goal? You see, the biggest thing is that it's been proven the number one reason a lot of people don't succeed is just simply because they don't understand what success look like for them. They're not crystal clear on what success look like for them. So if you never know, once again, a destination, you will never know exactly how to get there. So that's how we figure out that destination. As I mentioned, we're going to go into 2024 as an entire new person. And that's so we could freaking crush it. That's so we could change our life moving forward for the good. I want you to go into 2024 like you literally know you about to crush it. And that comes with you changing who you are as an individual. It's that simple. Now, we're not finished here. By the way, we're not finished. So at this point, now that you're crystal clear, we need to start taking action now. And I'm explaining to you exactly how you're going to take action now. I love this exercise. This is the exercise I want you to do right now. Moving forward every single day until January 1st. And then you're going to make it a part of your life when January 1st get here. Ask yourself, if I was in a movie, and there are a lot of people seeing this movie. Let's say there's 1 million people watching this movie right now. And this is a movie. What would I be doing? What would be my action as that main character? Would you be going to take a midday nap? Or would you be like getting off your ass and going to make it happen? You have to ask yourself that. Like when you take action in your day, remind yourself like if this was a movie and there was 1 million people watching, what would I do in this moment? And you're going to find yourself starting to take the necessary actions you need to take to move forward. We make so many micro decisions every single day, and those decisions decide whether we're going to succeed or whether we're not. It's just simply that simple. Simply that simple. But that's the reality. It's a simple thing of like, I could pick up my phone and go on Instagram, or I could say like, let me record this video. I could hop on the phone with my mom and catch her up on my week, or I could call my team and see how they're going, how their day going, and how can I help them improve their day. It's those little micro decisions. You could take that midday nap if you want, or you could just wait till nighttime and instead use those same 2 hours to just focus on improving that painting. Or again on social media, and every single person that comment on your post, sending them all a personalized message saying thank you and telling them why you're thankful for their comment. And watch how your whole career just start to change. Your entire art career. Like I said, I'm creating this video because I actually want you to succeed. I want you to crush. I want you to become the absolute best version of yourself and go into 2024 as a freaking monster, as a freaking beast. The days of the starving artist, the struggling artist, or you can't succeed as an artist, or you should just paint and not worry about how much you want to earn is completely over. It's time to treat this art space like a sport. You should want to be the best. That's just the simple reality of it. I mean, like when I entered this space and I told people the things that I thought, they thought I was crazy. Then they started to see some of my artist results. Now everybody think it's the smartest thing ever. But here's your chance. Like, this is your chance to be the best, but it just start right here. This is exactly what you need to do to be the best. I'm gonna put a video here to Jonah, and I think it'll be a great video to watch if you want to be the best, because he talk about how he spent 90% of his time building his art career, 10% of his time creating. With that being said, I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, all I ask is that you just comment, like, subscribe, because I heard that's what like YouTube like. I'm not the best with like YouTube, but I feel this is a way for you to really get to know me. I get to share stuff with you and at least help you get from here to here. Like if I can help you get from here to here, I feel like I succeeded. We are human here, so I want you to comment. Let me know your thoughts. Send me a comment on Instagram. The Instagram been growing like absolute crazy recently. I mean, absolutely insane. We had almost 30,000 followers, and I literally don't post on Instagram at all, so I need to get better at that. But anyway, I hope you found this video valuable. Review this video. Watch it over and over again so you can really understand everything that I say in this video, and then so you could absolutely crush it and become the best version of yourself. Let's make 2024 a great year. Peace.